Hey everyone, this is a clip from a recent episode of Another Pass, where we talk about movies and all the struggles that go into making them. If you like it, check out the whole podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, it was a good place for everyone to come out of their shells, you might say. Which is a great lead into the movie that we're talking about today, because today we are talking about the 1991 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Cowabunga!
Oh, I want to put you on a joke timeout so much, but go on.
Oh, I mean, it's been a while. So I used to do a podcast called Sacred Cows Tonight. It's on hiatus. I couldn't say it's hiatus because that would indicate that I intend on coming back at some point, but I don't know. Whenever I come back to the podcasting world, because I've been busy with a little bit of life things, it'll probably be something slightly different. But anyway, no, I saw that you all wanted to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and I was like, heck yeah, let's talk about that. I love that movie, or I think I did. So.
Yeah, this had been on our list for a while. We talked about Turtles 3 very early on in the show's history, and that's infamously the one that's like the one people didn't like as much. Like Turtle Power, Turtle Fever, whatever you want to call it, had started to die down a bit. The effects studio that was doing their costumes changed, and you can tell. you can tell. And in fact, I'm very angry with Amazon or whomever decided that now. If you go to try to buy this online, the cover art for both Turtles 1 and 2 uses the character models from 3.
Oh.
And it just feels like mean because Turtles 2, whatever you think about it, continues the tradition of Jim Henson Studios doing these amazing turtle costumes.
Yeah, and honestly, Splinter looks amazing too. I remember, when it started and I was watching this, and of course, it's been several years since I've seen this movie, even though I was really excited. I was like, yes, let's do this. And then also a little bit of me was like, oh my God, is this going to ruin my childhood? Is this going to not hold up? There's always a little fear there. But even the Turtles looked great, but when I saw Splinter, I was like, oh, right. He looks amazing. You can really tell, who's behind. I was like, yeah, this is the good stuff. Practical effects. Love it.
Yeah, I was reading about the practical effects between this one and the first one, where the conversation was about the willing suspension of disbelief that goes on with their costume designs. Like the turtles don't look like real turtles or real turtle, anthropomorphized by way of mutation kind of thing. They don't look real.
Right.
But they look appropriate for the setting that they're in. They fit, and we're here for it because they look right. More so than looking real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I really appreciate about that is the small details, that they did. With the first one, I really, everything felt grimy and dirty, and the turtles felt wet and they live in a sewer, and all the small details that, and yes, they're not real, but it helps with all those things to suspend that disbelief, including to the in the first movie, the turtle battle damage, their bruising and things like that. There isn't so much of that in this movie because of the change in tone, but still, I mean, the level of details and the level of quality that they put in these so that these martial artist actors in the suits could actually do all their cool stuff while having all of this going on, it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's the character work, the design work, is a big part of why the first movie actually was one of our 5th episodes, where we talked about all the hurdles behind going into it, because, it was an indie movie that, while yes, it was being built on a franchise that was becoming an explosive popularity, phenomenon, at the time when the movie was greenlit, it wasn't there yet. And it's incredible that they got that movie together, and then it was such a huge hit. It held the record for most popular best largest box office indie movie until Blair Witch. And that's pretty crazy that you could make a movie quite that big from this weird little thing that started off as a sketch making fun of X-Men and Daredevil stuff. But it was so successful that they immediately rushed a second movie into production, and that was Turtles 2. It's coming out, I think, 11 months after the first one, so it's a really tight turnaround on getting this movie together and getting it into theaters, which, that's going to create some challenges for you when you are working with a special effects heavy, or at the very least like animatronic heavy property like this. But that said, the design work continuing from Henson looks fantastic. Looking at Raphael, for example, I kept like admiring how he has like a very scarred shell, like his back shell. It has slashes all over it, and I'm not sure if that was his design throughout all of the first movie, or if it happens when he gets beaten up really badly in the first movie, or if it's only for this movie. But if it's a nod to the fact that he got really horribly injured in the first movie, that's a cool thing. Like that's a nice design detail, and none of the other turtles have it.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good notice.
Remember, if you like that clip, check out the podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.